Let's get to the report tracking. I mean, the report tracking is really where it's all at. Everything is. So let's go to that. And I'm going to run this report. It takes a little second, but I'm going to run it anyway. Now this is just going to tell me where the money's going at my particular club. It's going to talk about my groups and where I'm spending my money on my groups. And you can see here that we have these different little icons up here, so you can print everything up. You can put it in PDF form or CSV form and send it off to your controller if they ask you what a particular group is costing you. So you can see here's all my groups here. I typically set you guys up with about 5 groups. Groups meaning greens, tees, fairways, bunkers, rough, that sort of thing. But you can see I have a few more groups than that. And everybody has their own challenges. One thing with me is tennis. I have to send a bill to tennis every year on how much we spend taking care of the tennis courts. So I send him a bill. There's his bill here. My homeowners association. Anything I do above and beyond what I'm supposed to be doing, I make sure I track that and I charge them. And you can see here my groups. We have 60,000 for my bunkers at the top, 55,000 for my greens, and so on and so on. So I like to go into this task report, and we'll go back 1 year again, and we'll run this. And you can see here you have some nice pie charts and that sort of stuff. So here's my bunkers, my 60,000, but it gives me a nice breakdown of the task that we did on those bunkers. So we spent 23,000 hand raking, machine raking 13, 21,000 checking sand depth, pulling weeds, and that sort of thing, and so on. So if we go down, last year we started a course renovation, so we started a group called Course Renovation 2017. Gives me a breakdown of all the things that we had to do to keep going last year. Let's see, my fairways, you can see here my fairways 40,000. Only 22 was for mowing, and that seems to be pretty typical when you get into mowing. It's all the other things we do to our fairways. So these first 4 numbers are dispersing clippings. And if it ever got to the point where I needed to cut my budget, this is the kind of stuff I would go for. I would serve that up. My greens, again, only 23,000 up to 55,000 was spent on mowing the greens. I know somewhere in here there's a number. Here it is. Snow removal on the greens, 5,500. We got a little banged up with some disease last year, so we spent 2,700 putting the tarps on and removing them off so we could mow the greens and then put them back on. We have our employee reports, a big section on that. First and last days, employee work history. You can click on employee here. We can go back one. Let's grab an employee. So we'll go back 1 year, and it'll tell you everything that Fernando's done for that particular year. So this is kind of nice. It works out real nice for your interns. They can kind of send this off to their professors because they're always requiring that sort of information. Or you can get rid of let's get rid of it, Fernando, and we'll maybe see how many times we put the air fires on the greens. So we do a lot of needle tining, so this is the amount of times we put the needle tines on the greens last year. So there's a lot of good reports. Weather, tracks highs and lows, precip, what else in weather? Wind, humidity, all that sort of fun stuff. Yearly reports are kind of cool. Once you start using it for a couple of years, you can go back and compare maybe 2015 to 2017 on your bunkers, because when you start looking at your information, you're going to change your practices, that's for sure.